What's up guys, Shockwave640 here, and today I bring you the Transformers Prime Commander Class Megatron. And yes, he was the winner in the voting, so thanks for actually participating in that voting, guys. It was a 33% to a 66% vote. Megatron did get the 66%, and the Star Build Strike got 33%. So that was very interesting to see how that voting worked. And no, I did not place a vote in myself until the very end. I just voted for the one that I like the most. I'm not going to say which one I like the most. So, so here's Megatron, you guys. This is one of my older figures, of course. Well, not of course, but this is one of my older figures. It's like the first figure I got from Transformers Prime. I do believe he might be the first. Yeah, I just remembered. Yeah, he was the first. This is the first Transformers Prime figure that I got and owned, and I still have him. I actually just recently found the sword bit sometime last month, so I'm glad that I found that so that his weapon can be included. Of course, this is from the Cyberverse series, so they all use these smaller pegs and ports all over the place so that this can be used with any other Cyberverse figure, Commander, or Legends. So that just pegs in up at the top in that port up there. He's got quite a few ports all over him. He's got that port in there. He's got that port right inside his fusion cannon. He's got a port right there in the bottom and right there. He's got ports in the bottoms of his wings, which are his legs. And then technically he's got these hands back there that you can use. And that's as far as I can see. But, so yeah. This is his like spaceship mode that he had. Let me adjust the camera real quick. Putting it down. So this is like a spaceship mode, and it does have like the visible head syndrome, which was actually accurate to the on-screen model. It's a bit thin up here. This bulbous section right here is accurate as well. It did have this section here, except it wasn't as weird looking. So yeah, this is pretty accurate. Obviously, there's some things missing, like these things weren't there. The wings looked more like wings, and I think they were actually angled down a little bit or up a little bit. I can't really remember. It's been a while since I've seen Transformers Prime. Finished it like last year or the year before that. So really nothing much to look at here. So let's do the size comparisons real quick. I'm moving that weapon to the other side. So here first we have the Gundam F91 Custom. So there's the F91 Custom with that, which is something I did a size comparison for a very long time ago, actually. Of course, Transformers Combiner Wars Shockwave, because I'm probably going to be incorporating him to every one of my size comparisons, just because this is my favorite Shockwave toy that I own. Here's a fellow Transformers Prime character. This is Beast Hunter's Optimus. I don't have the original Optimus, so I can't show that off, but there's this vehicle mode size comparisons. Obviously, these are nowhere near accurate. I think Megatron is actually a little bit bigger, but actually, no, these actually might be accurate. Megatron, of course, will be a little bit bigger, but this is Beast Hunter's Optimus, and Beast Hunter's Optimus was pretty beefy. And here is the high-grade Goof Custom. So there is that. Let me adjust my camera real quick. And there you can see that. I'm actually going to put another vote up there at the top, little I. And let's see, which guys do you want to see reviewed next on Monday? Do you guys want to see the F91 Custom, or do you want to see the Goof Custom? Which one would you rather see be reviewed? So either vote for the Goof Custom, which is the light blue, or the F91 Custom, which is dark blue. I'll put the little eye up there once I've got the video uploaded, so you guys can start voting for that. Once again, I will not place my vote until voting actually ends, and it'll basically say which one's my favorite. I don't count my own vote into the percentage. Whatever one was winning originally is the one that does get reviewed. I want to be fair. I don't want to bend the whole thing into my own will. And so yes, I am actually going to start letting you guys interact with my reviews more. I want you guys to see, like, I want you guys, for me to review, hang on, let me try to rephrase this. I want to review what you guys want to see. I've noticed that there's been like a popularity flux within the reviews. Sometimes they're not popular, sometimes they get pretty popular within a few hours of the upload. So I'm going to try and figure out which ones you guys like better. So give just like suggestions down in the comments below, and also vote with the I up at the top if you haven't already done that yet. So cool. Let's get down to the transformation. A very simple transformation, especially compared to the other Commander class Cyberverse figures. To transform him, you just want to come here and untab the legs, which just use that little tiny tab right inside the toes, and clips right into that hole right there. Really hard to see because all this clear purple plastic, but you want to untab those, swing them on that hinge right inside there, and then there you basically have his legs done. And then just bring them down like so on his ball joints. Very simple. Then you want to come here, and you want to separate his arms. They do just separate using the fusion cannon, which pegs in using the Cyberverse port right there, and that Cyberverse peg right there. Then swing his arms forward on those ball joints, flip the fusion cannon around, and then bring it up, and there you have that. And just straighten out that arm. I like to usually bend his knees forward so he's got that typical Transformers Prime stance going on. Then you come here to this section, you open these up, bring that chest section down on that double hinge right here, bring these chest sections up on that hinge, and then they will close in just like so. Bring it down, push them together, and then it fits nicely around his chest. And here is the Transformers Prime Commander Class Megatron, and I have to say that this figure is great. I have not seen a more accurate Megatron toy. Not even the Voyager class is this accurate on my own personal opinion. I think that this is pretty much identical to his on-screen animation. You can see his head there, very, very nicely painted. This is back whenever Hasbro actually gave a crap about what their characters, or what their toys look like. He does have the eyebrows molded in, but they're not painted. I think they're supposed to be a darker gray, much like his face, but he does have his actual face, and even his eyes are painted, and that's a tiny head. I've got tiny hands, but there it is compared to my fingernail. That's a tiny head. He does have a nice tamper-graphed Decepticon logo right there on his chest, but mine's a little bit crooked. I don't think they could have put it higher because of that little thing right above there, above the Decepticon symbol, but I would have liked it if it was a little bit higher. Does have nice silver paint right there, which is scratching off because, of course, he is old. Nice transparent plastic, or transparent, really, I've been watching him go way too much. Transparent plastic, sorry. All throughout. He's got it all on his back, no painted on his back, so that kind of sucks a little bit, but it's kind of cool, though. I don't have my flashlight with me, so I can't really show how that is going through, but you can kind of see my hand appearing right through the back there. Its crotch looks accurate. The hips are a little bit far apart for my own taste. I wish they were closer together, but it doesn't bother me all that much. Nice metallic purple there, metallic purple on the sides. Lots of screw holes and screws all over the place, but oh well. They're kind of gappy there in the back, but at least there was molded in details. And his feet are very accurate. I just don't like those pegs, but you can always cut those off. They don't even work anyways. On the arms, of course, there's metallic purple on the front, but not the back. The back's pretty gappy, but it's typical for these Commander Class figures. And he's got the nice-looking hands, which are kind of strange-looking, in my own opinion. They look more like claws. Exact same hand on this side, except there's a port right there for his blade. And you can see a little slit there for the ball joint. And then the fusion cannon is colored purple right there at the top and bottom. I do like this color plastic right here. It's like this nice swirly silvery plastic. It looks very cool. On the backs of the shoulders, for some reason they went with the dark gray, like the same color as the tops of the legs and the tops of the arms. I don't know why. It's kind of weird. I really don't know why they chose for that color, but they did. So I don't know. But yeah, articulation. The head doesn't do anything, sadly, but I'm pretty sure all of these figures are like that. The arms are on a ball joint, and you do to get that transformation hinge, so you can kind of do something with that. His arms go up about that far, they won't go any higher. Of course, they do a full 360 because it is on a ball joint. You got ball jointed elbows, so you can get all the swivels and stuff you want. Nothing at the hand, but you can rotate the wrist right here, technically. At least he doesn't have the weightlifting arms, which I hate. Ball jointed hips, as you would expect. So they can go about that forward, about that far backward. Not all that much backwards, but oh well. He's got a knee there, and you could technically use that as a double jointed knee, but then his things just start getting strange and disfigured, and then he starts looking kind of like a pirate. I mean, you could use this as a peg leg, which I used to do whenever I was a little bit younger and I actually played with Transformers. I thought that looked like a peg leg for some reason because he got the little spike right there, and he actually stands too. So pulling that back up because that was my stupid childhood ideas. But yeah, his feet don't do anything, of course, and this is all the exact same articulation except this gun is on a ball joint, so you can put that however you want. And so there's the articulation for Megatron. It's not the most articulated thing in the world, but at least he has pretty good articulation. You can plug the blade in right here down at the bottom to kind of simulate the blade that he had in the animation. Way too long, actually. This blade's much longer than what it looked like, but still, very cool. Or he can just hold the blade in his hand, which is I do think looks cool, but I prefer it to be on the arm. But there's the blade when he's holding it. For some reason, he can also hold it like a gun. So I guess you could pretend it's a gun, even though he's already got a huge gun right there. And you can also plug it in right at the tip of the fusion cannon, and then you can get an articulated blade that he can use for storage like that, and then you can flip it out and then just start attacking people, whatever you prefer. The blade can only plug in up and down like that, though. It won't plug in this way just because that top part collides with the top part of the fusion cannon. But you can also just plug it in at the top with that little hole. You can have it looking like that if you want. Or you can plug it in the bottom, and you can have that same look that the ship mode had. And also there is storage for the weapon. You can see there's a little peg right there, and you can just simply plug it on right there, and boom, you have the weapon storage if you don't want to be using it any other way than what I just showed you. And then also he does have the storage on his legs as well, if you would rather him have the blade stored on his legs like that for some odd reason. But I think it looks cool here on the back, so that's where I'm going to put it for the size comparisons in robot mode. So putting him right over here, getting him standing up nice and neat. Let's bring in back the F91 Custom. So there's that. They're about the same size. The F91 Custom is a fairly small Gundam anyways, so that's as to be expected. Here's the Goof Custom, which is a fairly large Gundam model kit. But I don't know, it's not fairly large. I should kind of take that back. It's actually pretty small for being a Goof, but it does stack up well with Megatron. Here's Combiner War Shockwave, who is shorter, but I think that this scale works best for G1, even though none of these characters are from G1. I mean, this is Generations, or technically IDW, and then this is Transformers Prime. But for G1 standards, I think that this scale kind of works. If Shockwave is like right here, then that would work. For Transformers Prime, Shockwave should be like up here, because Shockwave is bigger than Megatron in Transformers Prime. He just doesn't look bigger, but he is. And then, of course, here's Optimus for the vehicle mode comparison. So there's that, and sorry, you can see the Goof's sword in the back. I'm pretty sure that's just about it. So this was probably one of my most favorite toys that I had when I was growing up. I love this thing. He's pretty cool. So I'd recommend getting him. He's obviously not going to be in stores anymore unless for some reason you see him in the clearance aisle. But very cool for about $10 is about how much I spent on him, I think, for my allowance when I was little. I think he's great. He's got the nice posability for cool posing options, I guess. His ball joints aren't weak on mine, surprisingly, considering how many times I've transformed this thing and played with it. Alt mode's kind of funky. It's really just discombobulating him into different sections and calling it a plane. But robot mode is pretty much perfect. I don't have any complaints about the robot mode, except for that little Decepticon thing and the eyebrows not being painted. But other than that, I really like this guy. He's really cool. He's got a nice figure and silhouette to him. He doesn't look fat and weird and strange and awkward in so many ways. But so yeah. Well, I'm Shockwave640, and I'll be seeing you later, my little Logicons. Thanks for watching.